Welcome, beautiful goddesses, to Teach, Travel, Talk. I am Megan, and my mission, goal, and vision is to help guide you through the crazy journey of life and of being a human and having this human experience. Because until we realize that we are the creators of our reality, we can either make life very difficult for ourselves, or we can make our world incredible. But it's all about how we perceive our world and the world around us. So this is for you. Yes, you, the one listening, so that I can uplift and empower you to look within yourself and find that inner light, love, guidance, and intuition that will lead you to unbecome who the world told you to be and bring you back to who you were meant to be and who you were supposed to become in this life. So let's dive deep into conversations that will bring you teachable moments to implement throughout your daily life and to help reprogram the way we think. Welcome back to Teach, Travel, Talk, where we are teaching one another how to travel through the journey of being human by taking the time to talk about our experiences. Thank you for joining me again, or if this is your first time, welcome. I hope you enjoy this podcast, and if you do, I would love any type of comment or feedback or just a like. And if you are interested, I would love for you to come join the tribe. The show notes will have all the information, but you can go to facebook.com/TEACH.TRAVEL.TALK tribe and come join. There's some goodies in there for you, and we would love to have you part of the tribe. This week's podcast is one of my many favorite topics I love to talk about, which is my experience of traveling abroad and living abroad. And this one, I kept thinking to myself, what do I really want to talk about? And I always just think back to the questions I get asked the most. And one of them I feel I get asked the most is, which country is my favorite? So on this podcast, I want to explore every country I've been to and what makes each one of them unique in my journey on this life, and what each one, represented in my life and was teaching me, and why it became one of my favorites, because they all are my favorite. They all taught me incredible things, and I want to talk you through how each one of them kept progressing me to the next level and showing me patterns, or showing me what I needed to learn at a given time, and just really allowing me to enjoy this experience and this journey and going with the flow. It really taught me to just be like water, move like water, and just go with it, man. It's all how you react, right? So you could just go with it. Don't have any, pushback or anything. So I really hope you enjoy this, because I firmly love talking about my travels. It's something I really wish, I could talk a lot more about, because I really enjoy it. But I really hope you enjoy this one, because I really love doing it. I was out in nature for the first half of it, and then I did switch to the inside. There is a little short pause break. I think I'll leave it in. It was kind of cute. So, but yes, I hope you enjoy, and don't forget to either come join us over on Facebook or just give any shout out to me. I would appreciate that. So let the teachable moments begin. Hello, magical, beautiful unicorns, goddesses, and queens. Once again, I am out in nature. I definitely needed this space right now of being outdoors, walking in this beautifulness. And it helps to calm my mind. And when I'm in such a rush in daily life, from working, being in the car, in traffic, and doing so many things at once, this really helps me to just stop for a moment and take some amazing deep breaths and just be calm and still like nature. So today I definitely want to talk about my travels, and I was thinking about the question I get asked the most when I tell people I travel. And one of the biggest questions that I get is, what is my favorite country? And for me, this has always been one of the hardest questions to answer. Because first of all, I don't like to pick favorites. And two, they were all my favorite in so many different ways. They all captured my hearts. My hearts, I have more than one heart. Captured my heart in so many different ways, and I connected with each place, and it showed me so many different things that I needed to learn when I needed to learn them. And I want to share those experiences with you of how my travels and going to each one of these countries has helped me on my journey thus far, and showing me a lot of amazing lessons, a lot of understanding, a lot of many valuable things that I've taken away from my travels. And a lot of it showed me to stop comparing myself to others, stop judging myself, judging others, and to simply just enjoy the moment and realize that we are all humans going through this human experience, and acknowledging that soul inside of someone and realizing that they are on their own level of consciousness, and that's okay. We can't force anyone to change. We can't force them to learn valuable life lessons. They will learn them on their own. Same with you. You are in control of your purpose, your destiny, your lessons in life. And that is all we ever should be focusing on, is ourselves. So back to the countries I've been to. The first country I traveled to was Singapore. And boy, was I really happy that I picked Singapore. So already my perception of Asia was a belief that came from other people. You know, a lot of people, when we think of Asian countries, a lot of times we do tend to think that they are more of a second, third world country. And we think kind of, I would say, a lot of negative things about, you know, those places. And it's correcting ourselves and realizing that those beliefs are not necessarily our beliefs. And it's okay. It's okay. Oh, hello, plane. Goodbye, plane. it is okay to question your beliefs. It is totally okay to do that, because a lot of us have been pre-programmed with those beliefs, and they might not truly be our beliefs. So one thing that definitely surprised me when I got to Singapore was how amazing this country is, how advanced this country is. It is one of the richest countries in the world. Granted, it is a very small country. For you to go from one side of the country to the next, it takes about 45 minutes. And I believe there's a little under 6 million people that live there. So you can already tell that this country, doesn't have a huge population. And when you don't have huge populations, it is, more controllable, but it's easier to implement things. So a really crazy, weird law in Singapore is that gum is banned. You are not allowed to chew gum. It is one of the cleanest places. There's no trash anywhere. It is so clean and it is so efficient. Their transportation system is, oh my goodness, it's amazing. A bus comes, 5 minutes later, another bus comes, and they're never late. It's always on time. And another thing that really surprised me about Singapore was how everyone spoke English, which was amazing, especially for me who doesn't speak any other language. There wasn't that, language barrier, and I felt very comfortable being in Singapore. The one big thing also that came from being in Singapore was one of the first people I met there was a German girl who was traveling by herself, and it just sparked so much inspiration, and it just struck me, and it made me realize that, oh my goodness, I can do this. I can do this all by myself, because there are people out here doing it, and I'm so blessed and thankful. She was one of the first people I encountered. There was a lot of other people I met there too that really helped really sink in what I always knew I wanted, which was never to return or go back and live in the US. And that is what I found. I found some other nomads that were setting up their base in Singapore and, wanted to live there, which was amazing, incredible. And it made me realize, oh my goodness, I can live abroad. I can live over here. And I was so happy about that, because it just fueled that fire within me that was always pushing me and telling me to go and travel the world. And they just helped, really let that sink in and made that realization and made me truly believe that I could. And I'm really happy, again, that I started there and I met these people that just helped me kind of get the ball rolling in that realization that I don't need someone else to do this, that I can do it by myself. Again, I'm super thankful that I did have someone to start out my journey with. I don't think I would have been brave enough, even though I was super brave to, leave the US and go and travel. I don't think I could have done that by myself. So I definitely appreciate that person for coming with me and embarking on this journey with me. And Singapore was amazing. It was a beautiful, great first place to experience and not have so much culture shock as well that I really thought I was going to experience. I thought I was going to experience something completely different from the US, But landing there, I was like, oh my goodness, am I in the US? The only difference is I am now the minority here, which I will say, so this was kind of over my whole entire travel, but I will touch on it now. I actually really enjoyed being the minority. It was really fun, and I feel that everyone should kind of experience that. And I don't know, it's really weird. It's actually when I come back to the US and now I'm the majority, I feel out of place and really weird about it. I don't know why, but it was nice. Maybe it was all the attention I got. Who knows? But I liked it. It made me see things very differently and realize that the world needs to be a lot more diverse, and we need to be able to, travel to different places and be able to live wherever we want. But that's a whole nother story. So the next place on my journey was Malaysia. Malaysia, oh my, words can't express how much I truly loved Malaysia. Malaysia became my second home. I loved being there. Something always brought me back to Malaysia. And, I only spent a few weeks actually in Malaysia the first time around. And this is where I realized how strangers can become your family overnight. And I am so grateful and blessed that my two brothers from another mother entered my life, because with them, they made me feel that I always had people looking out for me, and that I always had someone that would be there for me if I truly needed them. And I'll never forget, they wrote me a note before I left and told me that, that this is your home. If you ever need to come back, we are here for you. I still have that note, and I started crying because it was the nicest thing ever. And they showed me what true kindness was. Sorry for the other airplane that's coming over. Hi, airplane. Bye, airplane. But they really showed me that kindness and that compassion for others, and that other people have that, right? It's not that I didn't believe people didn't have it, but especially growing up here, you have such this fear-based mentality, and everyone is against each other, which is crazy to me. And this just put into hindsight how incredible most people are. And not only were they super helpful when we were in Singapore and helping us find, the bus, they even found their friends that were living in Singapore to show us around Singapore. And, they were just incredible. I can't even express it enough. And, there was just so many synchronicities too. And I just realized that they were going to be huge parts of my life. So as we were heading to the next city in Malaysia, they were leaving to go to India on a trip and had taken us to KL. And I believe I've talked about this before, but the new host that we're staying with, mind you, I met them on couch surfing. So we were on our way to our next couch surfing host. And mind you, we're going to a big city that has many sub-cities next to it. The host we end up staying with is across the street from where they are staying for the next day with their friends. And it was great because I wasn't ready to say goodbye to them, and which was nice. We got to go to breakfast with them. They took us to dinner. We got to meet all their friends. It was such a coincidence that they were going to be traveling to Vietnam exactly the same month that we were planning on being in Vietnam, which was crazy. And we were like, of course, we definitely have to meet up. And yeah, we did. I'll get into that later. Or maybe I'll get into it now. So yeah, we actually ended up meeting up in Vietnam and spent about a week together. Mind you, they only had maybe 5 days in Vietnam, so we were going from place to place to place to place, but it was awesome. I loved being back with them, and it just kind of made me be like, nah, they're my brothers for life. They ain't going nowhere. Malaysia just taught me that, that unity, that we, even though we come from different places and we may not speak the same language, we may not have the same cultures and ways of doing things, there's still love there, and there's still understanding and compassion and kindness and love. After Malaysia, we ended up going to Thailand, which by this point we had been traveling for over a month, and being with someone 24/7, not kind of having that alone time, this was finally when I got the chance to have that alone time, and it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. We went to an island and, just kind of did our own thing. I needed to, kind of see what it would be like if I was here by myself, and if I would enjoy it, if I would like it, if would do the opposite and say, no, never mind. And it just kind of gave me that reassurance that I would be okay. And yeah, it gave me those stepping stones, and I'm really happy with each country that I went to and how it developed. Like Malaysia, it's really technologically advanced. Why that word is so hard for me sometimes. Yeah, and when I got to Thailand, again, that's when things, started, shifting a little bit. It wasn't as advanced as Malaysia. They didn't speak as much English there. And, and as you kind of keep going through the countries and even seeing what war has done to these countries and has taken them back so many years, because they've had to start from ground zero because of it. So, yeah, and in Thailand, they have this saying, it's same, but different. And, you'll see it everywhere when you go to Asia, and I just love it. It really connects with me, just saying, we are all the same. We're doing the same things. We're all connected. All of us pretty much are going to school, getting a job, working, getting married, having kids, having a family. That's what everyone is doing. We're just doing it a little differently. We're all doing life a little differently, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, we are all the same. We are all still humans. We all are experiencing this world and these emotions. And that's really where I think I became more aware of my emotions and how maybe other people affected me, or how I would get in my own head a lot of times. So before I went traveling, I actually read Eckhart Tolle, his The Power of Now. You should totally read that book. I love that book. But it talks about the ego and how the ego just creates, conflict and, negativity, and always brings us out of the present moment. And it starts judging, and it starts looking at those differences in people instead of looking at what connects us, what brings us together, what makes us. And if you can't find anything, you're human. That is all you need to remember sometimes, is that we are all human and we're all living these separate realities, but we're all connected to each other. And, as I traveled, it was crazy how I started coming to all these realizations and what these countries were bringing me. And now that I was at that state, when I got to Cambodia, I felt like I was returning home. I truly did. The sensation washed over me when I touched down, got out, and we're going to the hotel. It was amazing. It was incredible. I wish I had the words to explain it. It was just magical. And I knew that this was where I was meant to be at this point in time. If you don't know Cambodia's history, I highly suggest you go and read a book. So about in 1975 to 1979, the Khmer Rouge, I can't pronounce it correctly, hopefully I did, they were there. It was a communist party who took over the country, led by this leader, Pol Pot, and he was a very, dictator, and he overthrew the government, ended up telling everyone that there was a bomb threat on all the cities, and got them walking out. Okay, I've read about this. There's a book, First They Killed My Father. They have made it into a movie, so if you don't want to read the book, you could go watch the movie, and it kind of explains to you the history and how he kind of took over. What they don't really explain, though, in the movie is that they were not just, they were making everyone the same. They made everyone cut the hair the same. They were all wearing the same clothes. They made them walk to farmlands and start just being in camps where they would work all day long. And this was everyone, kids included. And they started executing everyone. Anyone who was part of the old government, anyone who literally had a degree in any sort, was smart at all. If you were a doctor, a lawyer, anything, you were executed. But not just you, your whole entire family. Yes, all of them. Not just, your immediate family, but your whole lineage gone. They would try and find them because they didn't want retaliation. So I got this book when I got there and started reading about it, and these people are so happy. They always have the biggest smile on their faces. And for me, it's just looking at, even the state, like this guy destroyed all cities, like demolished them, tore down, century-old temples, everything, destroyed them. So these people are literally still going through that. Like that happened, 50 years ago? 40 years? Someone can do the math for me. So it's crazy to think about that and to learn about another history, another culture, what was happening at somewhere else in the world and what was going on, because we talk about so many other things. He pretty much cut the population in half. He killed off a half of the country, a half of them, which was just, what? Who does that? So I really wanted to learn, and they were so willing to talk about it. They had a lot of museums, a lot of people who just wanted to speak about it because they wanted you to see the devastating effects and what happens. And, it was really sad. We went to museums, I would be crying. They had museums where just all the bones are everywhere. It was crazy. They turned school into torture chambers for people. Like, what? Yeah, Cambodia, it was just this understanding too of human nature and human design. We destroy. We really do. That's all we know. We know chaos and conflict. And I feel like it's a time to change. It's time to find that peace and that nurturing, that understanding and compassion. And that is kind of living in this present moment and just realizing, that we all experience emotions, we all experience things, but we can either let them help us and guide us, or we can let them run our lives and look at what we have let happen all over the world and so many different places that we're still allowing to this day to go on is just incredible to me, especially how advanced we say we are, but we can't learn to get along. But it's because we can't learn to get along with ourselves and who we truly are. And the world is always trying to make us like everyone else when we were put on this earth to stand out and be our individual self. And it's crazy, going on this journey and learning how different things awoken parts of me. And, maybe in my past life I was in Cambodia. I don't know, maybe, who knows? But it really touched me. And maybe a part of it was I could just feel those suffering souls and realize how much they want peace and how this shouldn't have happened anywhere. But yeah, so Cambodia was really nice. I got a lot of alone time there as well, and which was really fun. It gave me kind of that little freedom of seeing what it would be like by myself, but still having someone there with me, like training steps, like don't leave me just yet. But I definitely told her when we left, like, hey, I really don't plan to go back, but it's okay if you leave me at any point. I'm just thankful for that you've been here. It might not have been sunshines and rainbows, but it was a great experience, and I'm glad that I shared it with her. We just lost touch, and it happens in life. Those things can either separate people or bring people closer together, but I definitely believe it all happened for a reason. Cambodia, again, just kind of, it awoke in one part of me. Then when I got to Vietnam, I really wanted to love this place. I truly, truly did, because that is where, part of my sister comes from. Her dad is Vietnamese, and so part of me really wanted to connect with that place. Granted, after, about 3 months of traveling with someone, I don't think I was in a good headspace sometimes, and we were just, for me, I was definitely clashing with her, and that could definitely be with what I was going through, and maybe it needed to happen to push me, to do this on my own. I was just really frustrated at that point, and I know that definitely came off. We just out of the blue decided that we were going to buy motorbikes and drive all the way up Vietnam, because so many people have done it. We bought horrible bikes. They broke down within the first 4 hours or 3 hours of us driving. Fell off of it. And then my chain broke after we had been driving for, I think it was 12 hours we were driving, and it started getting dark, and all of a sudden she was in front of me and something just broke, and I was like, what was that? And I was like, I hope she realizes I'm not behind her anymore. And mind you, the 3 hours her car had, her battery just died in the middle of the road. So we tried to go get it fixed. They just jumped the battery, which was probably stupid. We should have told them to just replace it. So yes. So anyways, my bike stopped. Thankfully, someone came by and was like helping me. They did not speak English, but they realized, obviously something's wrong with my bike. He went around the neighborhood trying to find someone that was open that could help me. And he came back and took my bike, told me, in his way to get on my bike and follow him. So he pushed my bike maybe a block to one of his neighbors who was fixing my bike. And at this point, there was still, my friend was still not there. And I just was so calm about it. And I just started laughing. And you know what? She's going to realize it. She's going to come back to me. It's okay. Everything is just going to work out. Like, no problem. No worries. Don't have a worry. And obviously, I'm learning something, which means maybe sometimes don't go by impulse. Like, maybe we'll have someone that knows bikes go with you next time. Vietnam, we had a lot of chill moments. We went to the beach a lot. We sold the bikes, took a train up to Hoi An, stayed there for like 2 weeks until the boys got there because we were like, we are done. But it was really nice. We got clothes made. We got to stay with this family. We got to celebrate a birthday with them. They were so sweet, and it was just super chill. I really enjoyed being there. By the end of it, I was not in a happy mood. When I got to Laos, I just kind of was like, okay, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna try to let it go and just enjoy this moment and what I do have. It was definitely hard because my ego wanted, that conflict and that drama and to just be really annoyed and everything. And I was just like, no, I'm not gonna, give in to my ego at all. Like, I'm going to listen to myself and to, stay calm and to really think about things before I do them or say them. And it really helped me. And when I got to Laos, I think just all of that, those lessons I had been learning throughout these 3.5 months, came to light, and it gave me a great way to, put into play those actions, which was really nice, of just being mindful and being in the moment and not letting anyone else influence me or, setting those boundaries and being independent and having that balance and just really constantly finding that balance within myself. And it was really nice. And I knew, I wasn't there yet because we're always learning, we're always still growing. But I knew that I had kind of leveled up. I really did. I felt it. I knew it. But I knew the tests were going to keep coming, and whether I passed them or not was up to me. And sometimes I've definitely failed, but that's okay. That is the human experience, is failing and, again, relearning those things and really solidifying, like, hey, I'm not going to do that again. I know the signs. I know where you're pointing me, and I'm going to listen. I am definitely going to pause here because it is starting to get dark and I need to still make my way out. So we will pause that and I will come back. All right, I am back in the comfort of my house. Where I wanted to go with that is, going through this phase of my life and this journey of traveling with someone and getting to experience new cultures, a new way of living, doing things I never thought were possible and that I could only dream of, but I made my dream happen. We went on so many amazing trips. We went snorkeling, we went parasailing, we did zip lining. We got motorbikes, we drove over there. We had a great time. It was an amazing experience. Got to go kayaking on a river. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I met so many incredible, amazing people who were also on this journey of traveling and finding themselves and just enjoying life, enjoying the experience of life and these moments that we share with one another. I will say that, I felt the most comfortable going back to Malaysia. And that is where I did return to. And, all my lessons, life was like, okay, let's see if you have mastered these lessons we've instilled on you. and to this day, I'm still taking test after test after test and seeing if I've aced it or not, or if I still need improvement, and that is okay. Yeah, life definitely kept, giving me curveballs, and that was okay, because now that I've learned that everything happens for a reason, I was coming to that realization, even the bad stuff, because again, when I allowed my ego to enter, I kind of started creating conflict. Conflict started coming to me, and, it was just constantly realizing that I attract what I put out there into the world. And it was a lot of different lessons that I had to learn throughout my travels, especially now I am by myself. I went back to Malaysia to volunteer. I spent 3 months there, which was incredible. I loved spending time at this resort. It was very interesting because when I went there, we had 2 other volunteers, and 2 of them were best friends. Another one were a couple. There was a girl, but she ended up leaving like 2 days after I left, which is how I got my job there, because I took over her job as being the volunteer coordinator there. So I was helping pretty much get volunteers there and show them what to do, which was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Plus, we got to help at the front desk, which I love hotels. That's my background, so it was really fun to do that in this very outdoorsy environment where it's super hot. We went ATV riding. I was always biking and walking everywhere. They had a little lake. They had crystal pools. They had a zip line. I mean, we had a lot of activities there, and I was in heaven. I was really enjoying myself, and I loved being out in nature and being out and doing things constantly all day. It was a great environment. I really did enjoy it. I loved the volunteers that I was with, and for that moment in time, I really enjoyed, the people at the resort, and it was a lot of fun. That's when I kind of started dabbling into, teaching more and teaching English. And after 3 months, one really big thing on my bucket list was either to do a meditation course or do a yoga course. And I don't even remember how it came about, how I picked this place. I think it just happened at the right time, at the right place. I ended up picking that I wanted to go to India. So I found a place to go do a month-long yoga course to get my yoga certification. And I'm so blessed that I went there. I mean, India was just a spiritual awakening. It was incredible. So incredible. A real big part of me opened up, and that realization of, how I will survive and I will live on, but this body, this shell that I'm in, I do love it so much, and I really am gonna miss the day that I cannot be Megan, but I feel that I can always come back and be Megan whenever I want. I can relive these lives if I wanted to, and I've had a great life being Megan. I really, truly have, and I can't believe we're not even halfway through my journey. I can't believe where it's going to take me. And, when I got to India, I was going through a lot of stuff there internally and externally as well. Yes, I do want, people to learn that we all go through really, really difficult times. And in India, it was crazy because I was at a very low point in my life, but I was super high. And I think it was because I became very detached from it and realized that there was a bigger picture here, and I had to come to that understanding and that realization that even these traumatic, horrible things that do happen and the choices we make might used to conflict with what we believed, sometimes we have to make those difficult choices and to be, selfish. And in, India, I decided to be selfish, and I knew that I needed to fulfill my purpose here, and I needed to do what I was meant here to do, and nothing was going to get in the way of that, because I know what future I want, and I know what future I want to have, when it comes to kids, when it comes with a partner, and I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to enjoy this journey, but it needed to happen in order for me to realize that I need to focus on myself. And this is a lesson I'm still learning to this day, that I need to just focus solely on myself and improving myself and growing myself and building myself and just helping myself evolve and change and grow every single day. Yeah, I'm still, going through this journey. And, so after India, it was so interesting because at the same time I felt such this spiritual awakening, and then, having something happen to me, and then having to, go back to the US after 9 months of traveling and having this experience where I found that happiness. And I don't think I realized, I thought that the traveling was what was making me happy. But eventually in my travels, I found that it was me who makes me happy. And going back to the US, I got super, down at that point, and because I didn't come to that realization. And, being back here is where a lot of things have happened to me, and it just brought me back down to that frequency that I didn't want to be at anymore, but I let my emotions and my past consume me when I got here. And it took me a long time to get myself out of that after being here. And I was only in the US for, I want to say maybe a month and a half. And I was ready to leave. And that's what I did. I sold everything. I left a few things here with family, and I said, I'm going back to Malaysia. And, life there kept testing me, and Malaysia definitely was a place that I've learned many, many, many lessons from, and I'm very thankful that I did, because I feel that just like here in the US, when I get back to this hometown, a lot of things have happened there, and I just have to let them go. I have to release those energies and let them go back into a different form, and appreciate that things had to happen to get me to where I am, and opening up, and again, just constantly getting that awareness of myself. And yeah, that was a really big part of, my self-discovery, and really starting this journey and embarking on finding my purpose. And for me, I love getting to do so many different things and explore and get to experience and have different jobs and different, people that are in and out of my life, and great conversations. And it's been an amazing journey. So that was just the first part of my travels. That was the first 9 months before I had to come back to the US. And, after that, going back to Malaysia, I kind of kept going from Malaysia to Indonesia, and Indonesia was really awesome for me. It kind of pointed me in the direction that I wanted. I got to do all three things that I felt I wanted to do. At one point I was, teaching English with a family. I was working at a homestay, and I got to be a yoga teacher, and I went back different times. But it kind of showed me the direction I wanted to go. As much as I loved yoga, it wasn't something I wanted to teach, but I realized that I really did love teaching. And at that point, I really didn't want to be in hotels anymore. I had, stayed in Malaysia for another 3 months working at a hostel, and I was over it. I was done. I wanted to do something different. So I ended up getting my TEFL certificate, and in my head I said, I'm going to give Vietnam a chance. Some of my friends had moved there to go teach, and I thought I wanted to go there, and I really wanted to give Vietnam another chance with a clear slate, clean, positive energy going there. And I did have a really good experience. However, my body said, no, we cannot live here. It definitely retaliated against me. And who knows, it might have been my subconscious as well, but I ended up getting eczema, and my skin was literally peeling off, and it was really, really bad. And it just made me realize that I wanted to go back to Malaysia. It made me realize that was the place that kept sucking me back in. And I remember meeting people in all these different countries and, who are foreigners, and they were just like, yeah, this place captured me, and, it sucked me in and made me come back. And I was like, what? And then I realized that was Malaysia for me. Kuala Lumpur was, the city. I don't know why I just gravitated towards there. But I met a lot of amazing people there, and I'm really glad that I went there, because I would not have these incredible best friends, these close connections, if I wasn't there. So that was when I started my teaching journey, and I decided to stay a year in Malaysia. And, I had an amazing time there. I worked out of college being a lecturer. I ended up switching jobs and becoming a principal at a language center, which was incredible. I really enjoyed it. It was amazing. But I was getting really exhausted, and, I just kept coming to that realization that I was not meant to work this 9 to 5. I was getting tired. I was getting depressed, even though, I was really enjoying teaching. So, my year was coming up, and I went to online teaching, and at this point I had great friends there. I had a boyfriend, but something was missing. I was still very sad and I just felt like I needed more, and I really missed traveling. And I said, I'm not going to stay here just because I have this. I'm going to keep going on my journey. So I ended up leaving and going to Taiwan. And I stayed in Taiwan for about 3 months, and I really loved Taiwan. Taiwan is also super clean, super efficient. It's really awesome. I really enjoyed it. But it was really nice there. It allowed me to again start connecting with myself and realizing that my happiness comes from me. So even though I have a great job, a great boyfriend, everything's aligned, am I aligned with myself? Am I happy with myself? Is this what, I want to be doing? Am I happy doing this? The reason I left the US was because I didn't want to grind away for nothing. Yeah, it was really nice going there. And then, that sparked something inside of me. It was just like, wait, let's go. Like, no, let's get out of Asia. You have explored here. You know this place. Let's keep going. Like, let's go. And yeah, I ended up, contemplating where I wanted to go and going back and forth. And I ended up on Europe. I started, Googling cheapest flights to Europe, and that is where I got to Greece. And I did go back to Malaysia right before, said my goodbyes to everyone, because obviously, they are like my family. They are my family, not like, they are my family. And I was going to miss them. And, I'd created so many bonds with so many people. So leaving them was definitely a sad goodbye. But I know I'll be back and I will see them again. So yeah, I ventured to another part of the world, one that's a little more familiar, a little bit. And yeah, so my Europe trip began, and I really enjoyed it. Right off the bat, I stayed with an incredible family in Greece who just became my family. They were amazing and incredible and cooked all vegan meals for me the whole entire time I was there. I was teaching English, and I was teaching English online in the morning, and then I would teach kind of in the evenings at this school that the mom owned. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It really was fun. And then I got to Albania, which was my solitude time. And I really enjoyed being there because it gave me a chance to reconnect with myself, but being by myself without any influence from anyone. So for a month, I somewhat didn't have human contact. I sometimes did. There were some people, but this town was like a ghost town. No tourists. There was like a few tourists who were staying at, a place kind of far away where I was not allowed to go. And I would see them every once in a while, but it was really nice. I got to spend Christmas alone. I spent New Year's alone. It was, I don't know, it really helped me bond with myself and really connect with myself and realize how much fun I had with myself and what drove me and what I liked to do and what my passions were. And that was actually when I started my website. I pushed myself to start a travel blog. And I said, New Year's Day, you are launching this blog. And I did it. And it was amazing how, I was at a crossroads. The people that I had met wanted me to go to the next town with them. And, for me, I just knew they were going to party. And I knew I wasn't in that state anymore. And I was like, do I really want to be around people and start my new year like that? Because I did that last year and it started a lot of turmoil inside of myself and chaos. And this time I just want to have like a very peaceful New Year's. And that's what I had. And I wanted to do something for myself that was going to help myself. And I did that. And it was amazing. It was awesome. And I really enjoyed doing that. So after that, I did stop in Vienna, and I was there for like 24 hours, so I just got to walk around the city quite quickly, and then I was off to Poland, and I really enjoyed Poland. The girls that I volunteered with at the resort in Malaysia, the first volunteers I ever had, one of them lived in the city I was going to, and we actually met up, and I got to see her, which was amazing. And there I got to work as a volunteer at an English language immersion kind of camp. It was like a week long. It was really fun. It was with adults, and it was more like we just had conversation, and it was an amazing time. So then I went on to Germany. Mind you, my trip in Europe was very quick because I was still teaching. So about 2 months off to go and travel all of Europe as quickly as possible, which was really, it was very tiring by the end. So I did get up to Denmark to see this incredible woman who I call my mom. I met her in India, and I'm so glad I met her. And I got to go spend time with her and her family, and she got to show me around. And I was blessed that I got to be with her again. It was a very magical experience, and I'm glad she walked into my life, which was amazing because when I went down to Netherlands, I actually went and stayed with her daughter. And I just felt a part of the family. It was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Then I went down to Belgium, which was awesome. I got to stay with someone I actually met in Poland at a couch surfing event. And he said if I ever come there to hit him up and I could stay with him. So I ended up got to stay with him. Belgium is a beautiful place, I will say. Their buildings are amazing and they have really great restaurants. Actually, Poland has amazing vegan restaurants. Oh my goodness. I would go back to Poland just for that. Yeah, and then I went to France. I don't think I would ever go back to France, but I did enjoy France. It was really beautiful, and the people were very nice. But for me, it was a really crowded place, and I don't like crowds. I don't like when there's so much energy and so many people. And I went during winter time, so the fact that there was this many people during winter time, I couldn't even imagine what it was like at summer. I would not be able to do it at all. So then I got down to Italy, and I got to volunteer there. I really loved Italy. I loved eating pizza every single day, even though I shouldn't have because that's so much gluten, and my body said, Megan, what are you doing to me? Said, just enjoy the pizza. We'll stop eating gluten soon. Yeah, Italy was amazing. And, going through all of Europe, the history that you learn from it and these old buildings and the culture, it's just amazing. I really enjoy traveling around Europe and meeting even more incredible people along my journey. So thank you all who ever let me stay at their house. One day when I have my resort, you hit me up and you are more than welcome to come stay. And I just love that. I loved being able to find people that I connected with on so many different levels and that were just so willing to open up their arms and their hearts to someone that they don't even know. So thank you all. You are a huge part of my story, and I appreciate you so much for that, because without you, these travels wouldn't have been possible. And, as I traveled through all these places, it just showed me how connected I truly am to people. And no matter where I am around the world, there are so many kind and caring and loving people who are willing to help you and willing to open up themselves to have that connection with people, which is an awesome thing. I really enjoy that, and I can't wait to give back once I have my own place, definitely. And then I definitely got to do the lockdown in Croatia, which was a great place. I'm really glad I got stuck in Croatia. It's super beautiful. If you ever go to Split. Split taught me so many lessons, so many things. Obviously, we're in lockdown. We were stuck in this tiny hostel with about 10 of us. No, we had only a kitchen, 2 bathrooms, no living area, nothing. Yeah, it was and I had to teach at this time. So I had to teach in the little office in the closet. It was a very interesting experience, and having so many different personalities there definitely started to make my ego definitely come out a lot more and start pushing a lot of my boundaries and, wanting things to kind of go my way. But eventually I just kind of let go of it, because all these feelings that I was feeling were someone else's and they were projecting them, and I was holding on to them and grasping them like they were mine. And it really taught me to just let it go. Let it go. It doesn't affect you. Whatever someone else is doing, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to add to that. You can just move past it. And it's what it taught me to do. It taught me to just let it go, shake it off, walk it off, do something. But don't sit there and wallow and go to this energy level of being in like a victim or always being in a negative headspace. Don't go there. Get yourself out. And, again, I'm not perfect. I still have my moments where I go and down and down. But it's how long I stay there. I don't stay there very long anymore. And traveling, definitely kept me on my toes and kept me very mindful of what I was projecting, what experiences I wanted to experience. And if I was constantly thinking negative, then I would get those negative experiences. But if I found the positive and expect positive, then I would get the positive. And it was an amazing experience. And however, the world definitely shook me. Obviously, I tried going back to Poland, but with this whole pandemic, they refused me entry. And that's when I decided to come back here to the US to chill for a little bit, which I'm super blessed that I get this chance to be with my family, to, build up my business, do this podcast, create courses, become a life coach, sub at an amazing school, become a behavioral technician, doing so many things here that I didn't have the opportunity while I was traveling. So I'm glad that I'm back here learning some new skills, learning how to be the best version of myself and not allowing the past to overtake me and my emotions to bring me down. But I keep going forward and making steps every day to become that woman. And something I've definitely learned here right now while I'm learning all this is to enjoy this journey, to enjoy every step that I take on this. Yes, my dream and my goal, I know I'm going to get there and it's going to be amazing and I'm going to be so happy and joyful and grateful when I get there. But I'm just enjoying this moment, enjoying learning to be that person and gaining these skills and enjoying what it's going to take for me to get to that goal. And I think sometimes we just have to stop and accept that it's all about the journey. It's not about that destination. So enjoy this journey of, getting there. And I really enjoy talking to you about my travels. I love my travels. There's so much I could say about my travels. And I will continue saying them, but I really wanted to talk about this because this is something I get so much. The biggest question is always, what is my favorite country? They all are. If you see, they have all brought me true happiness and understanding in who I am, and realizing that all of that love and light and happiness, I only create it. It comes from within, and I have to project it out onto this earth by creating what I want to happen. And I'm so glad that I never let fear stop me from doing what I've loved doing, like traveling by myself around the world. And I'm going to continue to do it. Definitely thinking about picking a date so I can, push myself forward and get myself out. I really hope you enjoyed, and maybe you feel inspired to go and travel, even if it's just in the States or around your country. But I highly suggest it, and to be alone, to have that solitude, because we truly don't know what love is until we can love ourselves, and we never truly know who we want until we become that person we want. And by being alone, you discover that. You discover who you are and what you want to be, who you want to be, and you just have an amazing time. all of these countries, the people, the places, the experiences, the history there, everything just inspired me and pushed me and provoked me to unbecome the programming that I believed to be true for so long, and finding the truth within and getting in touch with my intuition and my soul and realizing my truth and my true belief in life, and being okay that everyone else has their own journey and their own beliefs and their own opinions, and letting that be their journey and letting my journey be my journey. So I'm not saying go and do my journey, but hey, all means, I love people. If they want to go and travel, hit me up. I can give you some suggestions on where to go. So I hope you liked this one, because I truly do love speaking about this, and a lot of other things I love speaking about, but obviously my travels are something near and dear to my heart. Until next time, you magical, magical unicorns, queens, and goddesses, I hope you have a magical month of March. All the best wishes and magical moments that you can have. I hope you found a lot of teachable moments in this podcast. Have a wonderful night, day, or evening. Until next time, namaste. For all of you that keep listening, I do sell hair care products and face products. It is a great company. It's called Monet. I absolutely love working with them. They have incredible products that are vegan friendly. They have no harsh chemicals, and my hair absolutely loves it. And I'm a stickler for advocating for products that don't use harsh chemicals, that only use plant-based derived ingredients, which this company does, which obviously my hair agrees with it, because I've never seen my hair grow so much and just look amazing, healthy, which I dye my hair so much. So my hair does not like me all the time. Um, and they taught me how to actually wash my hair, which is crazy. I always thought I knew how to wash my hair, but apparently I didn't. So I'll just share that really quick because I thought it was amazing. So with this product, you only need about a quarter size of product, and with the shampoo, you wash your hair twice. So because they don't have sulfates, it's not as sudsy as normal shampoo. So the first wash is to really get that excess oil and, harsh things from the outside environment to get off of your hair. And then that second wash is actually to get those nutrients from that shampoo into your hair, because obviously we've had all these blockages from, our environment, from dirt, from all that stuff. Especially, I don't wash my hair every single day, so it builds up, which is amazing. And for the shampoo, same thing, just a quarter size. You leave it in. I'm really bad about leaving my conditioner in, I'm not gonna lie. But for here, I always use a a conditioning mask after, and I let that sit in my hair for like 10 minutes or so whenever I remember to rinse it out. And it just leaves my hair so hydrated and so amazing. My hair has gotten so much more curlier, and again, it has grown so much, which is amazing. I absolutely love it. And I love smelling my hair. It smells delicious. I just washed my hair, which is amazing. So if you would definitely love to buy any products, I will link my website down below. You can please take the beauty test. There is a quiz on there that will give you the right products. If you're still not sure, my email is on there. Please reach out to me, and I would love to talk to you more about the products and what product would be best fit for you, and talk about more of their VIP, maybe some promotions that are going on. Or if you want to be a market partner, if you want to come on board and also sell these lovely beauty products, that would be amazing. So I hope you can join me, maybe be a part of my team, or just enjoy these amazing products that are not only healthy for your body, but healthy for the environment. So, again, I hope you have enjoyed, and I can't wait to talk to you next week. So, have a lovely day, night, evening, whatever it is.